around here, and we'll see if anything actually pops up with my word list at all, and if Travis hears anything. So this is kind of a story within a story. That's what I think I like about it. Nobody else is telling this damn story either. There's a big fire of 1796. So it was a big fire, not as big as 1861 that we talked about earlier, but it was going to cause a lot of havoc for St. Philip's Church over here, which is our biggest, tallest steeple. So what they did was they blew up the French Huguenot Church, so that way it would create a path so it wouldn't damage the St. Philip's Church. The ironic thing is that it actually did hit the church, and the French Huguenot Church was already blown up. So St. Philip's is on fire, and there's somebody that sees that it's on fire, and his name was Boney. His real name was Will, and he was a slave. And so he sees that his church is on fire, and he climbs to the top, and he starts pulling shingles off, so that way it doesn't burn all the way down to the ground. After that fire was over, and he actually did end up saving the church in his own little way, the church actually pulled together and bought his freedom. So, very interesting tale about him. Well, it is always said that Boney stays close to St. Philip's Church and kind of haunts the area around us. So let's go 100 years further in time. Got a young lady that lives across the street. Her name is Sally. She lives right over here. So we're talking, we'll just say 1890-ish, because I still haven't found an exact year on her yet. But anyway, she's a little kid, 14, 15 years old, and she's hanging out with her friends, and she's kind of a little bit of a daredevil and a little bit of a smartass. And her friends dared her in the middle of the night, because she lives so close to the cemetery, to go in and put this certain staff over top of Boney's grave. So of course she took the dare. She goes in there in the middle of the night, and she thinks she hears something. So she darts to the back patty corner of where Boney is buried, and she thinks she saw something again, so she runs in the opposite direction. And she went, oh shit, I forgot to put the staff over the grave, so my friends can go see I actually did this. So she runs back, and she stakes it into the ground, and then hears something again that scares her, and she starts running for the gate, but she can't run. She actually staked her dress into the ground, and ended up frightening herself to death, looking for Boney's grave. So, the whole thing here is that it's kind of a story within a story, but it's also like a parable, right? So I don't really know what the true life lesson is here. I don't know, you just don't go to cemeteries in the middle of the night. I don't know what the hell it's supposed to be, but don't stake your dress into the ground, Travis. I don't know if you're getting that either. But we were getting, like when I was doing the Anne Bonny bit, like literally right next to the cemetery, we were getting like the word Sally's, which I was kind of tacking that onto the Philadelphia Alley bit, because that's like kind of a way you walk, like after walking or riding a horse for so long, it looks like you sally along. And then we were getting the words Boney, which I took as Anne Bonny, just a misspelling, because we're not going to find Bonnie the way she spells her name inside of this word generator. But it was the actual word Boney, which was the slave's nickname. So again, we have some other things that, like, they were just small trickles, the word dare, Sally spelled differently, and so forth and so on. So my hope here is that I can get rid of doing that story over there that everybody does, and one day we will actually capture a little glimmer of something coming out of this. It's a nice, quick little short story that kind of, like, hey, we're near a cemetery. Let's see if we can get some footage, get something coming out of a spirit box. We did get a disembodied voice through one of these spirit boxes. And we were over there, and that's what actually sparked me to come over here and do this. So we were over there, and I'm going through the recording, and I was like, okay, so you always look at the timestamps, like, okay, where were we at this point? But then I hear this voice that goes over, I think it was like 5 or 6 radio stations, and it just said, Sally, like super long. And I was like, what the hell is that? I was like, wait a minute, I wonder if that's relevant to the Sally story. And then I started tying it all together. So, again, I'm hoping we're going to get more out of the spirit box this way. I haven't really looked at our word list. It does say the word move. Jupiter. Interesting. This word list is horrible tonight. Now, yep, push that one. Nope, push it towards me. There you go. Should be able to zoom in. If not, pull it towards the opposite direction.
Oh yeah, that's nice. I think it's just another, like, obviously it's just another stone, but it's just weird because, like,
Is
every
it
once in a
glimmering?
while it, like, kind of, yeah, like, looks like it's like a smaller portion.
I see it.
In front of the thing. Like, it just kept, like, I don't know.
Now,
I
the
just
nice
kept
thing
looking
is,
at it.
I do send these videos over to YouTube so I can watch them on a computer. You guys can watch them on your TV. So, I mean,
You
these
like
videos
see
are
it
yours to keep.
more detail. Yeah, I don't know.
So if
It's
I
just
find
like,
something there, obviously I could take screenshots, and I give you the different screenshots and brighten it up a little bit to see if I can make anything out of it.
do you see what I'm talking about? So it's like a different color, like right there.
A little spot right there?
Yeah.
Is it just kind of like the parallax from the camera, you think? Maybe because
I
we've
don't
had
know.
that misinterpretation
Yeah, I
with
don't
the Sue Howard
know
Hardy
that
story.
it's anything. It's just like when you
Oh,
go
it's
farther
consistent.
out, it's like, yeah, it's always there, so it's probably just another,
Okay.
like,
Well, I'll
grade.
zoom in on it and see what the hell we got. Take a screenshot. That's the beauty of this. Again, I don't like to just take pictures, man. I want video. That way you can play with it. Can't really do much with photographs. You know what I mean? You got anything coming out of there? Can't make out anything?
No.
Who's
It's
Myra?
not just me.
You were catching words.
And again, your my spot checks, like I will give you the markers of what I found, and I might give you like 12 to 15 things out of that, but only like maybe 4, 5, or 6 of those are going to have notes next to it. The other stuff is just a view, things you wouldn't normally hear on the radio. It just kind of gives you a gist of how do I listen to this thing, so that way when you go through the whole thing, you know, again, if you wanted to, you can go through and like, oh, that's how we listen to this.
Right.
But I don't know if we capture something in here. Is it going to be Sally? Is it going to be Bernie? Like, I have no idea. I'm waiting to see like something come through, and I want something else to go along with it. Obviously, to kind of signify. I mean, we're talking about a male and female. They're 100 years apart in age. You know what I mean? Like this is a tough one. He's working it.
Oh, that was a
There's a bug. Yep.
Dang.
Yeah, if it comes in from outside the frame
Yeah.
and then leaves the frame, like you definitely have a bug. Like if it, one of the criteria that I look for actual orbs is it has to develop in frame and disappear in frame, or one or the other. Having both is obviously solidified, but if it appears in frame and then disappears, like we obviously have something going on.
Yeah.
We caught some of those with the ultraviolet camera that I was using before this one. But I was breaking those left and right. I was going through like 5 or 6 of those a year. They're not cheap. So I moved up to this guy. I was like, maybe this will work out better. You got anything, dude? You gotta have
I
something.
thought I just heard 2 centuries.
2 centuries?
They are centuries apart. They're 1 century apart from what I know of, but the fact that we heard 2 centuries, we'll take it. Check the word list one more time.
What did you say Sally's name? Like, what's her whole name?
I don't know.
Oh.
Just the tale that I found about her, it just says
What if
Sally.
it's like, Sally something? Because then that would be the OS.
Unless it's Sally O'Shea, you know, that would work. It's just all the letters, you know, in an anagram format.
True.
I wonder who the hell she was talking about down there. There's the only other. I see other tours that come on this side, and there's a grave that's pretty close, like this one, further down. It's William Rhett. He actually caught the famous black Steve Bonnet, the pirate from Charleston. So I'm wondering if that's who she was talking about. That's really the only other reason people come to the side, because I don't know of any other tour talking about Sally. Got anything else coming?
Anything?
You got anything? Okay. Fair to say, go ahead and hit that stop button.
Okay.
Hear the voice.
Oh, now we're on it. See, we just needed a tutorial.
He wasn't paying attention
No.
first.
Happens all the time. 95 was the number he heard.
I think so.
Alright, Sue. We're only going to be here a few minutes. Get your act together. Let's do this. And the word house shows up. And cemetery. House, cemetery. Almost like it's an adjective.
Warning.
Sue. Be nice. We won't be here long. Just tell us whatever you want us to know. Just let us know you're here. Some kind of specific thing I can prove. You can tell us the month that you died. That would be something we wouldn't expect to hear. Unlike 9/11, which obviously is a big deal. You went radio silent on us.
I think you're going to want to hear this.
Really?
Yeah.
Watch. I'm gonna turn this into a holy shit night.
Told you he'd be better at this.
I was really surprised when he wasn't hearing anything, but he didn't realize he is listening to that radio chatter.
From the ashes.
We have that cemetery. I also said warning. I didn't like that one. Sue, I told you to be nice. Tell us what month you died in. And we'll leave. All you gotta do is tell us the month. We're using 2 different boxes. Use either one. Got the word debt. Her and her husband Gaston were pretty poor. I know that much. Any weird movement in there at all?
Mm.
What do you got, about 3 minutes? We'll go about another minute.
Yep.
The tours might be starting to pour up this way. Yeah, our cemeteries are gorgeous, especially at night.
Yeah.
Accommodate godless.
Yeah, religious terms near a church. It's just the vibe around the place. So I quit writing that stuff down. Because we were like, I just heard Jesus. I'm like, that's great. We're near the church. The tallest one in Charleston. Of course you're going to get like Pew and Bible and
Yeah.
Jesus. Pretty steady shot. And some people like wiggle around it. Killing it.
Doctor?
There's.
Dr. Ladd bleed over.
Is that just like a plant or something? That thing that keeps moving? Like now it's still, but it was moving
Tonight?
before.
I'm trying to see what the word
Watch that.
It is. Gotta get on the other side of it. It's picking up the plant.
All
behind it.
right.
Yeah, okay.
All right or Paul right?
All right. George.
Ooh.
Sue, last call. Going once. Going twice. Let's hit that stop button.